Hello, Michael. I'm Taylor. Today, I'm going to be interviewing you for my social work field experience class. If it's okay with you, this video recording will be used for my professor to document my interviewing skills. So, if it's okay with you, we will start.
Sounds good.
Okay. I will be interviewing you about your future plans or ideas about your career and also your major in school. So, do you want to start off by telling me what your major is?
Yeah, I'm an elementary ed major, and I would say I'm not one of those people that's always known what they're going to do. Originally, I thought I was going to do something and it didn't work out, so I'm just starting out in the elementary ed major. But with working at camp last summer and just being around kids at other times in my life, I feel like it's a place where hopefully I can use my skills to help the students. A lot of people say we need more males in elementary schools, and I hope I can be a good role model to students at that age where they're just starting to come into their own and develop some thoughts of their own.
Do you have an idea of what you might like to teach or what grade or anything like that?
I haven't made any final decisions on what I would really like to teach, but I think at this point I'm kind of leaning towards the 3rd to 4th grade age. I think at that age they're a little bit less dependent on you as they are in 1st or 2nd or as kindergartners, but they're still young enough where I feel with my abilities I'll still be able to kind of control the classroom or just be able to control the environment to where it'll be a healthy learning environment for everybody. Teaching wise, for what I would teach, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously at the elementary level you kind of do a little bit of everything, but I would say possibly I might teach some sort of social studies. That would be more maybe in the 5th or 6th grade range if I did that, but or I could teach elementary math, something I've considered. But, yeah.
So it sounds like you're saying that ideally you would like to be as an educator in a school setting, for sure. Yeah. Do you see yourself doing that in a similar place to where you grew up? So you're from Kansas. Yeah. Do you potentially see yourself doing that in Kansas?
That's a good question. I would say that I'll probably start out somewhere else. So I'll be here another 2 years. But so once I graduate, my guess is I'll probably find a job around here just because the ease of... I hear that Goshen does a good job of helping people, and the Goshen schools sometimes like to hire the students from here. And so I think it'd be easiest to possibly, hopefully, get into a school around here to start with. Long term, I don't really know where I'll end up, but I could see myself going back to Kansas, but yeah, I don't think it's something that I would do straight out of college. I think I'll stay away from Kansas for a little while and maybe find my way back.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit about how you became an education major, but could you tell me a little bit about more in detail about how you became to be an education major, and maybe you said you switched majors, so what you were before and why you switched?
Yeah. So my first 2.5 years of college, I'm a junior now, but my first 2.5 years of college I was studying for atmospheric science, which is something that I'm really interested in, and it's something that I had thought I might do from a young age, but I just realized once I got into the field and after 2.5 years of studying, it was basically as if I was an engineering major, and I was in all these math and science classes, and it just wasn't what I wanted, it wasn't what felt right, and it seemed like I just needed to make a change because what I was studying was not what I was passionate about. Some people said, well, maybe you should just try to power through it and then you'll get a job that you enjoy, but I was at the point where spending another 2 years doing what I was doing just seemed like unnecessary, and um, switching majors gave me the chance. The thing about switching majors to education is, or in any case when you switch majors, it's not that I can't still be interested in the atmospheric science and the weather that's going on. It's just that the formal setting that I'll do it in will be different. Like I won't be, I'll just be less formal of a passion, I guess. I won't be studying to do it for the rest of my life. I'll just be interested in it. So when I kind of made that decision last fall, I decided the reason I went to the University of Kansas was for that major. So once I was decided that I was going to change majors, that's when I decided to look at Goshen. And Goshen had always kind of been that second option there. And then I think the experience from camp, and not just that, I touched on that a little bit, but I don't know. I've gotten some affirmation from people about how I've done with students or kids in, for example, the camp setting. And I think that it's something that, with a little work and effort, I could, I don't know, help the students and hopefully be a good teacher.
So it sounds like when your idea of what it meant to be an atmospheric science major, it turned out to be a little different than what you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so much math and science, and there's so much that we don't. Well, I shouldn't say you guys, but that I didn't understand about the weather that happens that you don't see, you don't realize, you don't understand, you don't have to grasp. So what we see is we see the rain or the snow fall from the sky, but why does that happen, and what has to happen for that to happen, and all these quantities about and the qualities about how air and all these things work go into talking about it. So, I mean, when I was in my major, I was in the core classes of my major, and we didn't talk about rain or snow or wind or we didn't talk about the things that you think about when you think about the weather. It was all this thermodynamics and these things that go in to create the weather, but I think part of it was they realized that everybody is interested in the weather that's in the major, and so they kind of figure that you've done that portion. You know what rain and snow is. You know when it happens, and so when you're actually studying to become a meteorologist, you touch on all the the background, the history, the significance of like how those things take place, not just where they happen, why they happen. And so some people like that, and it just seemed like it wasn't for me, and I'm okay with that. Yeah.
So do you feel like you made a good decision or a right decision by switching to be an education major?
Well, can I sit here and say that I will be in education the rest of my life? I probably shouldn't make that promise, but I feel like it's a major that can lead in a couple different directions, and if I choose to do something else, it's it's not that far off from some other jobs that I could take or look into.
So what are, being an education major, what are some of your goals or aspirations throughout your career or life?
Well, from a perspective of like selfishness or like personally, one of my goals is to just enjoy what I'm doing. So I'm hoping that education is a place that I can do that. And honestly, I would say if it's something where I don't enjoy it or I don't feel that I'm being useful to the students, then I would probably question whether I should be doing that in the first place. But at this point, I mean, I'm just a few weeks into the major, but at this point, I feel like it's something that I'm okay with, and it could work out. I don't know. I don't know if I've developed any specific goals for teaching. I mean, there's general things like, well, you want to be a good role model for the students, and you want to create a classroom environment where everybody can learn, and there's all these general things. But my guess is when schools hire you, they will want to hear some more of those specific type of goals, like what do you want to accomplish in our school, and what do you want to get done. So those are things I should start thinking about. But
and on the flip side, what are some potential things that might hold you back or concerns that you have about this career field or being an education major?
Yeah, I've always kind of wondered. I'm not naturally inclined to be a good presenter of information. So if whether I'm talking to one person, whether it's in this interview, I don't, whether it's eye contact, whether it's presentation, whether it's my voice, whether it's how fast I talk, I don't naturally have those things down to where I would just fit right in as an educator. Those are things I'll have to develop and work on. Mm-hmm. But I think already in my classes, we've worked on that. One of my classes, we taught the kindergarten PE class, and so these kids are running around the gym, and I'm gonna have to corral them with my voice, but not, you don't want to scare them or you don't want to make them fear you. Mm-hmm. So you have to. The teachers talk about developing your teacher voice and what that means and how you go about classroom management. I guess be the main things I need to work on.
So yeah, it seems like you're saying that you have a strong interest in educating and being a role model, but you acknowledge that there will be some things that you have to learn and get better at, which is legitimate. Yeah. Well, is there anything that you would like to add or bring to the conversation that hasn't been already addressed?
I think that's good.
Well, thank you, Michael, for your time.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.